Hello, this is Janae, and today we'll be talking about the mirror stage by Jacques Lacan. The mirror stage, otherwise known as the mirror stage, as formative of the function of the eye as revealed in psychoanalytic experience, was proposed by Jacques Lacan in 1936 and then in 1949 in both Marienbad and Zurich. It was brought on paper in the Revue François de Psychanalyse and again in the Écrits in 1966, with the English translation appearing in the New Left Review. This translation is important as it introduces the British audience to Lacan's theory, especially the mirror stage. As it goes with Descartes' statement, "I think, therefore I am," it takes from Freud as it goes with phys- psychology and physiology. The mirror stage The key to the mirror stage is subjectivity, which is composed of three components of the psyche: the real, the symbolic, and the imaginary. The real is a subject that cannot be discussed, as it would turn into truth, which someone will be afraid of. As the Lacan puts it, we are used to the real, the truth we repress, and the truth is always disturbing. But the closest we'll ever get to discussing the real is the effects it has on these two sibling dimensions. Meanwhile, the imaginary is the human interest in form, which goes hand in hand with the mirror stage, as the child finding itself in the mirror for the first time is the founding moment of the imaginary. But we will get to that later, because right now there's also the symbolic, which is the dimension of symbolization into which the human being's body, to the extent that he or she begins to speak, it must translate itself. It's kind of like math, as symbolization is a dimension of articulation and not equivalent to pointing or naming. That being said, the symbolic is made of relations and not things. And though Freud would probably put it as the symbolic is serving up repressed desires, Lacan puts the symbolic as showing expressed desires. Meanwhile, the mirror stage is shown with a baby at the enfant stage from 6 to 18 months looking at itself in the mirror. The reaction, though adorable and funny, is also shows a separation from the self. The child's reaction is confused and seeing itself as a stranger, then maybe a friend, to the point of either kissing the image, and then it's probably the self, which can go with the result in the eye, as it gives the first separation, as the child forms two eyes, the specular self and and the specular self and the specular eye and the social eye, which leads to this point, as the mirror stage is the founding image of the imaginary. There also go the child forms another being like the other, which can either be a counterpart or a competitor. Whatever it is, it's another person to the child. And but it's more, but if the child recognizes itself, it kind of gives an ideal self. As a child, as a baby, though weak, though still pretty weak, not being able to walk or talk, forgets for a moment that of where the child position is right now, and thus sees itself as more independent and more idealized self. Like, but because of, but when it's realizing that, but because of this, there's also the fear that it can never obtain that kind of that kind of, that kind of idealized self. And as a complex, as a child grows, be more, it can try to be more, there should be more growth in the personality itself. Which, and as this video shows, there's like a lot of truth to what he says, basically. The video was pretty old back from the 90s, but it kind of goes along with what I've been trying to say. And and with like the new, with this new discovery, and with the child having this new discovery of a separation of the self, there is the imago, and which established the idealized I, which will, again, the child will strive throughout life. For Lacan, as the child grows, it will gain personality from the world, along with neurosis from the world, which, eh, as it as the world would sometimes get unrealistic of image, or what a person should be, even though it might be a bad idea. But as a result, the child could end up having a troubled mind, which could probably be the basis for disorders like inertia or bulimia, in an attempt to attain the perfection that he or she is striving to be. But according to Lacan, love can be a key to helping them, to helping the person, as it gives like as it severs or undoes the imaginary. The, but he also points out that while we should help them, we shouldn't do it for them. Kind of like that he helps those that helps themselves, basically. Because remember, you're supposed to find yourself, not find others, or vice versa. A lesson that is pretty legit, as as that's what we're supposed to do, pretty much. So, and that's pretty much it right now.